Hey, I think we are live. What's up, everybody? I'm my Dallas coming to you from Southern California. That is the top of Southern California, I would say, because we're in the middle of California, I feel. Thank you and welcome to Let's Talk on Camera with iDallas. We talk all things on camera. If you need some on camera training, iDallasmedia.com is my website. We talk all things on camera, especially my new program, which is a podcast program. If you ever wanted to launch a podcast, the way to do it is interviews. And you can go and get a free handout at iDallasmedia.com to get a free handout of how to interview, how to get ready for your first 10 guests. So it's a 10-step program. You can get ready for your first even 30 guests. So go to my website and get that. In the meantime, we have guests coming. I think I have a guest next week. I have an interview next week. I'm going to try to do interviews on Wednesday. And obviously, I think 1 o'clock is a good sweet spot to do these lives. What I like about lives, and if you want to get content done, it's one and done. You can get it up and running. Hey, everybody. Hey, by the way, if you are watching live, hashtag live, put a little comment. That gives me a little juice. It pushes out the video more, and that's going to show me some love. Even if you step in and out, I'm fine with that. I don't care if you leave, but just try to make a comment. Hashtag replay, hashtag live. It takes 5 seconds to do it on your phone. Or if this is more interesting to you, if you are tuning in from the East Coast, put hashtag East Coast or put hashtag West Coast. So it's the West Coast and the East Coast, y'all. I was born and raised in New York. So, and I'll say hello to all my Florida peeps who are on the East Coast. My brother's out there with his wife. And want to say hello to Atlanta and all the East Coast states that I love. Hello to Nashville, where I have some family in Nashville. Hello to all the other states that are all the cities, because Nashville is a city. So Nashville's an amazing city. I don't know if you've ever been, but it's an amazing city. Today, we're going to talk about making room for video content. And if you wanted to be a creator or want to be a podcaster, making room for your video content is really an important aspect of creating content. Doesn't matter if you're going to do reels, if you're going to do, you want to make room for your content. We're going to talk about how the best way to make room for your content. Big shout out to YouTube. I'm back on YouTube. So excited to be back. Love my YouTubers. Love YouTube so much. Love Facebook most of the time. You know how it is with Facebook. They're very strict. But one of the good things about Facebook is that they have a good audience because they are strict. That's the reason. Like with YouTube, it's a free for all. You know what I mean? So you get a lot of crazy comments. So it is what it is. Each platform has its own personality. So you have to kind of you don't have to create content for each platform, but you definitely want to have a creating content system. And I'm going to talk about what you start with. Tomorrow, I'm going to have a co host. Her name is Ashley Brown. She is so beautiful. She's one of my former broadcasters, and she's amazing. And we're going to talk about politics, and we're going to talk about topics and everything. But today, I'm going to talk about making room for video content. But I wanted to touch upon one thing. I know Thanksgiving is coming up, and I know y'all are getting ready for like Black Friday. Like, I've never been a Black Friday person. I don't know if you are a Black Friday person, but apparently there's some deals going on. So I know there's one deal. Let me add this to the stage here. There's a Black Friday deal on Nintendo. Like, I'm not a big Nintendo player or anything like that. I don't play it at all, but I know a lot of families do. A lot of fathers and mothers play with their kids, but mostly, obviously, it's a kid thing. But a lot of adults play it too. There's a lot of competitors, but apparently Nintendo is having the Nintendo Switch Black Friday bundle. It's a Black Friday bundle. Okay, so I'm reading this as I go along. So looking for the best Nintendo Switch Black Friday deals, then you're in the right place. So the Nintendo Black Friday deal is, let's see, it is, so you get, apparently this is a big deal. Okay, I don't know why it's a big deal. I never play video games, so I'm the worst to do this. But I thought this was funny to talk about Black Friday and how Amazon, you get on Amazon. So Nintendo Switch, you get the Nintendo Switch. The Amazon has a bundle deal that includes a Nintendo Switch console, a digital download of the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, a 3-month subscription to Switch Online for $2.99. Considering that Nintendo Switch alone usually retails for $2.99, that a copy of Mario Kart Deluxe 8 costs $59, and then Nintendo Switch Online membership costs like $3.99 a month. they say that it's a good deal. So I'm getting this from Creative Block, which is an art and design website, and they do all things kind of electronic and art and design and gallery. So this whole article on how the Nintendo Switch is a a Black Friday deal. So I don't know. I have never been a big I don't know if you can relate, but I've never been a big Black Friday person. I've always didn't want to like fight for my big Friday. Hi, I don't know who's saying hi, Alex. I didn't thank you. Love you too. I didn't. I've never done a black like fighting for products was really not my thing. But I'm gonna give you a tip right now. This is a way to shop for my designer shoes and boots and get them for 50% off in the same year that they were released. This worked like a charm, and I would save my money and buy my designer shoes and boots on December 26th. That's the real Black Friday, y'all. Because Black Friday, which is the Friday right before or during it's the Friday of Thanksgiving, right? That Thanksgiving week. I think it's November 24th is the Friday of Thanksgiving week, if I'm not mistaken. Tell me a comment if that's right. So, um, Black Friday, yeah. So I've never been a Black Friday person. So December 26th is when I go day after Christmas. Go to any store you want, and they will have 50% off. But this works especially for shoes and boots. I would get every year my designer shoes and boots for 50% off, you guys. So the 26th is a better Black Friday than the Thanksgiving Black Friday, in my opinion. All right, today we're going to talk about making room for content. So let's put this up. Making room for content. Hold on, let me see what my next slide is. Okay, making room for content, guys. These are tips to create amazing video content, whether you're creating a podcast, where you're doing reels. A podcast is good and starting with interviews because it gives you a purpose, it gives you a schedule, and we let you know how to do that with my program, which is going to be opened on Black Friday on November 17th in 2 weeks. Not this Friday. I was going to do it this Friday, but I pushed it back a week. Okay, so making room for video content, amazing tips on making video content. But first, let me introduce myself. I'm Dallas De Leon. I used to be an actress, a writer, producer, still am. You know, I shouldn't say used to be, right? Still am. I worked with MTV, VH1, Extra Access Hollywood, all the broadcast platforms that I also was a working actress for over 20 years. I put 10 years. Oh, I've been coaching for 10 years. That's true. I've been coaching for 10 years. And I'm also, so that makes me a little old school, right? But no. I'm new school too. I don't think I put it on here. Oh, uh, uh, um, I'm new school as well. Okay, because I worked with broadcasters the last 10 years for E! News, Entertainment Tonight, and all these broadcasters who were up and coming. I also worked with aspiring broadcasters, and they needed a way to promote themselves. So I ended up doing like 10 YouTube channels that blew up for my clients. So I know YouTube well. So my foot is very much in new school, and I love social media. So I'm all about it. So I'm going to share my practices of creating content. It's so hard these days because it's so overwhelming. So I'm going to show you how to make room today. And then tomorrow we're going to do a deeper dive of content planning and creation with my co-host, Ashley Brown, who used to be a broadcaster with me. You'll meet her tomorrow. So 1 o'clock seems to be the sweet spot. I came on a little early because I wanted to get this over with and done with. And yeah. All right. So let me show you. Let me show you a little bit of stuff. So hold on a second, guys. I got to switch over to this one. So what you want to work towards when you're creating content is creating a workflow. So the first step is you definitely want to clean up your phone and computer. So let's move on to that slide. I'm going to show you, because you are your own brand. You want to definitely clean up your computer. Hold on a second. So that's the first step. I feel like a lot of people don't talk about this, about making room for content. And one of the best things you can do is bank your content. If you're not sure, make content now, things that you like, things that you're attracted to, and bank your content. When in doubt, always make content and store it, because you're going to need it later on. Because when you start scheduling stuff, you have to look And if you don't have anything to schedule, you want to be ahead of that game. And even if you don't know how to schedule, if you don't know the ropes of, content creation, start making stuff that you like and then start storing it in your Google Drive or wherever you store it. You can store it in your phone and the little albums. There's ways that the more content you have is the more assets you have. So a way to do that too is to take a lot of selfies of yourself, maybe filming yourself on the computer, B-roll. So all of that is B-roll and B shots. So that you can use that B-roll, that content that's almost like stock photos of you to be able to download into a template. Did you ever try to make a template on TikTok or on Instagram Reels, and it's like you don't even have pictures of yourself? So like I would get these pictures of myself. I would just, before I went out, I would just take photo shoot of myself like for 30 minutes. So I'd get ready like 2 hours early, right? So I have a half an hour. So let's say it takes you an hour to get ready. Add a half an hour to that. And before you leave the house, be ready a half an hour early before you're leaving to an event and just do a whole photo shoot, selfies. If somebody's there, your roommate, your friend, your partner, hand them the camera, have them filming you walking to camera, walking away. I'm telling you, you're going to use all this B-roll and you're going to need it. And you're going to love it because you're going to be like, oh, Idel told me to do this B-roll. I'm so happy. All right. So when in doubt, always make content and you store it. The more content you have, the more assets you have. Um, so your content can be strong. So ways to store the content, the photos and videos. Obviously, you can do drafts on some of the platforms. Like TikTok lets you keep like over 200 drafts on their platform. Like so on Instagram, you can leave drafts there and store a lot of drafts and use them with their templates when you create music and your B-roll pictures with your template. And TikTok has drafts, Instagram has drafts. They're the only one. Like YouTube doesn't really have that because it's a different content creation process. And Facebook doesn't have that either, which I'm really surprised that Facebook doesn't have. I guess they're thinking we're relying on Instagram to do that. But it'd be cool if they did. So let's move on from banking and content. The one thing I don't think people talk about is making room for their content is, first of all, you need to clean your phone. Your dirty ass phone that's full of shit. Okay. This is how I have my phone. And this is the best way to set up your phone for content creation. Okay. So the best way to set up your phone for content creation is to put it in these boxes. You see those boxes that I'm showing you there? So I have mine. Look at this. That is a clean first page. I have 4 boxes on the first page. And what I have in the first box is, I'm sorry, I can't really see myself. First box is all of my social media platforms that I'm posting on. The second box is the tools that I use to post, right? So the tools I use are the camera, my Google Photo Drive, the storage of the Google Photos, the photos of my iPhone, what's in my iPhone, what's in my Google Photo, because I have Google Drive. Google Drive, which is really a great tool. If you're not using it, you're crazy. Canva, you can like zhuzh things up. You can make little videos in Canva too. And it's almost like kind of a graphic design editing software, platform, app. And then there's CapCut. CapCut is my editor. It's a phone editor. You can edit videos really quick. Then I have the calendar, my date, my calendar, and then I have my settings, right? So just in case I have to fix the camera settings. Those are the only 4 boxes I have on the first page. You guys are probably like, oh my God, my phone is so cluttered and crowded. Well, you need to clean that up, Bill, because if you want to make content, you want to be able to do a workflow, which is what we're going to talk about a little bit today, but mostly tomorrow when I'm co-hosting with Ashley Brown. 1 o'clock, be here 1 o'clock. I might be here a little early, you never know. I wanted to go in a little early today, but 1 o'clock is the time that's a sweet spot for me. So if you're going to look for me, come here at 1 o'clock. All right, so your home screen, you can box things and file them, put them all in the file. So now I have that first page, which is my 4 boxes. That's my main. Then I have the second page. Okay, look, I'm getting a little messy. I have some apps out, my Starbucks app and all that. But the main ones, the top one is, this is my productivity. So it's my mail, my email, my slides from Google Drive, my files, my contacts, my docs, my notes, because I go into notes a lot because that's where I create a lot. So that's my productivity. My next box is utilities, like my calculator, my clock, So you want to group like things together. I have my WhatsApp in here and my Trello and just organizing materials, my website, So those are the boxes I have, and I have to start filing these because these little apps got out. But that's it. My phone is clean, clean, buddy. So when I look at my phone, I'm not overwhelmed and stressed and looking at a phone that has so much garbage all over the place. When do I clean it? I clean it when I'm sitting waiting for my car to be washed. I clean it at night. I would do 20 minutes a night. It literally took me 2 months to clean my phone. But it has been a game changer for me. Okay, so anybody, does anybody have a comment about the phone? Okay, so let's look up your computer. You also, besides your phone, you're going to need your desktop to be clean as well. So what I have is the menu bar above on your desk. I have Facebook, TikTok, I have all the platforms. Then I have Google Drive and all the utility things that I need to make that platform work. Google Drive, I have my website Wix, I have Trello, and I have my email inbox. So I have everything on the menu. So cleaning up and creating a workflow begins with your phone and with your Google Drive. Uh, your phone and your computer, menus, files, so you can box everything, put it away, and create a workflow. This is like what I do for my clients is create a workflow and then put it in order. So this is one of my clients, Marco. He's a choreographer, ex-dancer, choreographer. And so we created a step-by-step, but we created pages of content, and then we created a step-by-step for him. This is my client, Jeanette. She's a weight loss coach. So we created step-by-step the things that she really should focus on. And then she went to each one. Also, Josh, I wanted him to focus more on YouTube. So we have him building and creating these amazing things. So after you create a workflow, the workflow part of it is pre-production, where you're going to create stuff, production, where you're going to shoot stuff, and then post-production, when you're going to calendar stuff. Calendaring stuff is going to be a game changer for you too. So make sure you do that. Okay, so making room, banking your content, making room for your content is the first step to being an effective content creator, guys. So let me just go to here. If you have any questions, I can deal with your questions. I want to show you something. I'm going to do this tomorrow. Make sure you're here tomorrow at 1 o'clock. We're going to be talking about creating content. Let me cover this really quick. One of the mistakes I see a lot is that when people go into content creation, it's so your head will swim. Like my head swims like every day, but I'm working through the forest to really just try to make it streamlined for everybody. And guess what? Right now is the best time to create content because there's so much AI coming down the pipe. It's so much easier. Like every day, my Google Drive has something pop up that makes it easier for me to create content. My Vimeo has something that pops up. It's like the companies are working with each other. Like Vimeo is working with Google Drive, and Google Drive is working with all these other companies. It's amazing. So it's a really good time. One of the mistakes I see that people do is that they plan on creating their content and shooting it in the same day. And that is going to create such anxiety in your soul. It's really not a good idea to do that. So I wouldn't do that if I were you. You want to separate the days because your brain can only function in a certain way. And I come from television and I come from new school content creation. So I'm with the old school and the new school ideas. And listen, you can't really reinvent the wheel. And one of the ways we used to do it in television is we obviously used to batch content, but we also scheduled it. One of the real processes of getting content done is scheduling it, you guys. When you schedule it, it is going to be done. So the first part is like research. You see the girl, she's lying down. And when you're doing research and you're content creating, you want to just be like relaxed and kind of dream, make your content unique. And then you can start to have a process of writing it down and figuring that out. But you need that open space of that. You can't like rush it and then try to be somewhere. Also with shooting, the next box, you see the girl with the ring light, that's on a different day. You should shoot on a different day. Like the way I created this today, I started working on this a couple days ago. So I had it all set up with the slides and everything. So I shoot, the day I shoot, I really don't try to do too much admin. I don't do too much before and I don't do too much after I shoot. My brain is on shooting, especially when you're doing live like this. Your brain should be just on focusing on shooting. So, first one, create, lay down, think about what you want to create. I'm going to show you a real step-by-step process of doing that tomorrow with my co-host Ashley. The second thing you should do on another day is the shooting of what you created, right? And you want to calendar that. The third is scheduling and posting that. So those three processes, those three protocols, they have to take place on different days. You shouldn't do them on the same day area. So, because what you want to do in the beginning of content creation is you want to master each part. The first part, research and coming up with ideas of content and titles, is pre-production. The second part of shooting is production. The third part is post-production. And in television, we never did those in the same day. We did pre-production first, then we did production, and then we did post. The whole entire staff of 100 people, which is what it takes to do a show. So understand that it's 100 people to do a show. You're doing the work of 100 people. I am doing the work of 100 people right now. We would do it in succession, like first pre-production, then production, then post. Once you get really good at doing what you do, then you could maybe mix a little bit of pre-production with posting maybe. I wouldn't do shooting. I really would take shooting and put it on a separate day because shooting involves, when you're shooting content, you can't be in your head. So when you start doing admin and strategy, you go to your head. And then when you switch, not to be in your head, to be present and in the moment with your audience. And the audience can feel when you're distracted. So you want to be present in the moment with your audience. And that shooting day, you need to have a little space before you shoot and a little space after where you're not doing anything. You want to wind down after you shoot. You want to just relax. You want to take a break. And then you can go back and start to either edit it or post it or schedule it and do those things, title it and do things afterwards. But when the day of shooting, like right before you shoot, you really don't want to be in your head. You don't want to be in your head or else you're not going to do a great shoot. All right. That's kind of it for today. What are we at? Are we at 23 minutes? So I just wanted to go just for like maybe 30 minutes. So if anybody has any questions, you can give me some questions. Making room for your content really is the first step to being a content creator or creating your own podcast. Let's see, do I have my podcast a moment here? If you have any questions, let me know. I would love to take your questions. So on Friday, I will be giving a class, a private class for you to get that class. It's called I'm gonna be teaching how to book guests for my next guest program. My next guest, how to book guests for your podcast. I will be doing a private free training on that, and it's going to be in my Facebook group. So in order for you to get in my Facebook group, you have to go to my website and sign up to idallasmedia.com, get on the email list. If you look on my profile here on Facebook, this is not for you YouTubers, okay? Go to my Facebook YouTubers if you want to see that. So if you want to go to my Facebook profile, and there is, I have a business page and I have a personal profile. So my business page is Idallas Media. And if you go to that page on my Facebook, you will see an advertisement for this Friday, is it November 10th Friday? I believe so. November 9th, right? Oh no, it's not Friday, it's Thursday. I'm doing the show on Thursday. If you go to my profile page, you can find the flyer on that and you can get on the email list. I'm doing a private free training on Thursday in my Facebook group. It is a Facebook media lounge and it's very, very cool. So if you want to get that free training on how to book guests for your podcast or kind of how to launch your podcast, that's a great way to get that training. So if there's any questions about today's lesson, I don't think there are any. I'm going to leave you guys. Thank you for tuning in. Tomorrow, I will be here with one of my former broadcasts, Miss Ashley Brown. Oh, not tomorrow. She's not going to be here tomorrow. Sorry, guys. She's going to be here next week, next Wednesday. So every Wednesday, I'm going to try to be doing an interview. But tomorrow, we're going to be doing how to create and plan your content. We're going to go further and deeper into creating and developing your content. As always, I'm Idel Leon. Thank you for tuning in, guys. Make sure you subscribe, y'all, because you're not subscribing. I can see a lot of people watching my stuff, but y'all ain't subscribing. That ain't right. So hit the subscribe bell button right now and the notification bell so then you can be notified when I do go live because then you won't know. Great seeing you guys and forge forward. It is a complicated process sometimes to create content, but you should forge forward because everyone needs content. Everyone needs their social media to work. Let me tell you a little story. I had a friend of a friend of a friend of a friend of mine lost their son, which is a really tragic event. Lost their son. He's in his 20s. He was visiting Mexico, and they're doing a GoFundMe. Knock on wood, the GoFundMe is actually going well, but the family's very conservative, and they don't have a lot of social media, and they don't do a lot of content. This is where they wish they did. So I'm actually telling my friend, the friend of a friend, tell them to do videos, and if they needed any help from me, that I would either post it on my page and also help them because video would help them get more people to donate. So social media is becoming a very important aspect of our lives. It's no longer an option, you guys. I know a lot of my friends in education don't do social media, and it's rightly so. Your job can prevent you from doing social media. So that's why you have to sit with a content strategist and really figure out what part of your life you do want to share with people. Is it your knowledge? Is it your experience? Like what avenue do you want to share with people and what, sometimes people end up giving too much, TMI, too much information. So you want to be clear. And so the way to do that is to do a strategy. Don't give up. Don't get exhausted. You have to pace yourself. This is an amazing time in our life. The fact that I can come to you live like this, freaking awesome, incredible. And then don't worry if anybody's watching during the live. The live is an algorithm that pushes out things on Facebook, pushes out things on YouTube. And what people watch is mostly the replay. There's something about the live, though, that gets a certain amount of viewers, but also it kicks up the rhythm, especially if you guys make comments. If you make a comment that's showing the video person that you are helping them push out the content. So giving me a little comment like, hey, what's up? Or East Coast, West Coast, or I'm watching the replay or I'm watching live is a great thing to do for a video presentation person who's doing a live because it pushes out the video more. If you're seeing this replay, you should make comments as well. Share with me what has been an obstacle for you to make content. I know social media can be so draining. But this family that I spoke about earlier, where the son died and they have to get his casket back to the United States because he was in Mexico. Do you know how much it costs to get a body back from Mexico? $40,000. So imagine you as a family, your sibling, somebody goes to Mexico or Cuba or wherever they're going, Rico, wherever, and to get the body back is 40 G's. So they had to do GoFundMe and they don't have tons of social media. So that's when you need social media. You never know when you're going to need your audience to be built up. You don't have to necessarily be an influencer, but you definitely should maybe, share your gardening tips, share your cooking tips, and you might end up really liking doing a podcast or, sharing video content with people. Plus you can do it live. This is like incredible. The advancements they're making with social media and technology. Well, it's been great speaking to you guys. We're here at 29 minutes and I want to finish at 30. Unless you have any questions, guys, I'll give you a minute to ask questions. Otherwise, I'm going to go and I'll see you tomorrow. Tomorrow, we're going to really go a deep dive into how to create the content, how to plan it in a way that works for your brand. Okay. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Thank you for watching and bye-bye.